There is a powerful silence in the early hours of the morning. The world is still, distractions are few, and the day has not yet demanded anything from you. These are the moments where real transformation begins. Too often, we underestimate the value of those first few hours after waking, but the truth is simple: what you do before the world wakes up sets the tone for everything that follows. If you want to change your life, you don't need to start with massive leaps. You start with small, intentional habits, done consistently, before the rest of the world has even opened its eyes. Today, I want to share with you 5 morning habits that will not only change your day, but have the power to change the direction of your entire life. The first habit is embracing stillness before activity. In a world where we are constantly rushing, checking messages, and drowning in noise, the ability to pause, even for just 5 minutes, is revolutionary. Begin your morning by sitting in silence, breathing deeply, and grounding yourself in the present. This is not wasted time. It is the foundation for clarity. When you give yourself silence before chaos, you carry calm into everything you do. The second habit is moving your body with intention. Notice I didn't say exercise as a requirement. Movement can be as simple as stretching, a short walk, or 10 push-ups. What matters is that your body feels alive and your blood begins to flow. A body that wakes up with energy fuels a mind that thinks with energy. When you move in the morning, you are telling yourself, I am ready for this day. The third habit is feeding your mind before the world feeds it for you. Too often, we begin our mornings by scrolling through social media or reacting to emails. That means we're letting someone else dictate how our day begins. Instead, choose to read something uplifting, listen to an inspiring podcast, or write a few lines in a journal. Those first inputs shape your mindset for the entire day. Protect them. The fourth habit is gratitude as your starting line. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. Every morning, name 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. Sometimes it's as simple as the roof over your head, the breath in your lungs, or the chance to begin again today. Gratitude grounds you in perspective, and perspective fuels resilience. And finally, the 5th habit is setting one clear intention for the day. Notice I didn't say a long list of tasks, one clear intention. Ask yourself, if nothing else gets done today, what one thing will make this day feel meaningful? This transforms your energy from being scattered across endless demands into being focused on what truly matters. Clarity of purpose in the morning becomes progress by evening. These 5 habits, silence, movement, learning, gratitude, and intention, are not complicated. They do not require more money, more talent, or more luck. They only require commitment. Do them before the world wakes up, and you'll find that you're not just getting through the day, you're leading it. The question isn't whether you have the time. The question is whether you'll choose to use the time you already have. Before the world wakes up, you have a window of opportunity. Seize it, and you will change your life. 5 keynotes of the speech: embrace stillness before activity, begin your morning with silence and clarity. Move your body with intention, awaken energy through physical activity. Feed your mind before the world does, choose positive and inspiring inputs. Start with gratitude, shift focus toward abundance and perspective. Set one clear intention for the day, create focus and meaning through purpose. There is a reason the greatest shifts in life, often from the smallest, most overlooked moments. Stillness is one of those moments. We live in a culture where productivity is glorified, where speed is rewarded, and where the first instinct many of us have when waking up is to grab our phones, check notifications, and immediately dive into a stream of information and demands. But what happens if, instead of rushing into the noise, we give ourselves permission to be still first? The habit of embracing stillness before activity is not about wasting time or being passive. It is about reclaiming control of the mind before the world tries to control it for us. When you wake up, your mind is at its most open and receptive state. Neurologically, you are transitioning from the deep waves of sleep into the alertness of wakefulness. That space is delicate. Whatever you allow into your mind during those first moments acts like a seed, and it has the power to influence the emotional tone of your entire day. If the first thing you do is rush, stress, or scroll through chaos, you have already surrendered your peace. Stillness, on the other hand, plants a seed of calm, clarity, and groundedness. It reminds you that you are not defined by the noise around you, but by the choices you make within it. The practice of stillness doesn't require hours of meditation or complex rituals. It begins with something as simple as sitting quietly for a few minutes before the day begins. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and just notice your thoughts without needing to chase them. Some people call it meditation, others call it mindfulness, but the essence is the same. It is the art of creating space. And in that space, you gain the strength to respond to life rather than react to it. Consider how different a morning feels when it begins in stillness versus when it begins in rush. In rush, your heart rate is higher, your thoughts are scattered, and you are already in a state of survival before anything has even gone wrong. In stillness, your breathing is slow, your nervous system is calm, and you begin with a sense of control that ripples into every interaction and decision. Imagine starting the day not with a flood of notifications, but with a moment to simply be aware of yourself. The steady rhythm of your breathing, the feeling of being alive, and the recognition that today is a new opportunity. There is also a deeper psychological benefit to embracing stillness first. In stillness, you detach from urgency. Urgency convinces us that everything is important, everything is pressing, and everything needs our attention right now. But when you sit in silence, you realize that urgency is often an illusion. Most of the things demanding your attention are not truly urgent, and the ones that are will be handled with greater wisdom when approached from a calm state of mind. Stillness helps you sift through the noise and focus on what actually matters. One of the most profound things about stillness is how it sharpens awareness. When the world is quiet, you start to notice things you often overlook. The rhythm of your breath, the sensation of air in your lungs, the faint sounds in your environment, even the subtle feelings in your body. That heightened awareness carries forward into the rest of your day. It makes you more present in conversations, more focused in your work, and more connected to yourself and others. Without stillness, the day can easily pass in a blur of activity. With it, the day becomes more intentional. It's also worth noting that embracing stillness in the morning doesn't mean doing nothing. It means preparing the mind for everything. Athletes stretch before they run, not because stretching is the goal, but because it prepares the body for performance. In the same way, stillness is the stretch of the mind. It primes your thoughts, emotions, and focus for the challenges and opportunities ahead. By starting with stillness, you give yourself a mental warm-up that enhances every action that follows. Some might argue that they don't have time for stillness. But the truth is, stillness doesn't take time. It creates time. 5 minutes of intentional calm can save you hours of wasted energy spent on stress, distraction, or poor decisions later in the day. Think about the difference between a leader who reacts impulsively to every problem versus one who pauses, breathes, and chooses wisely. The latter is not slower, they are more effective. And effectiveness is the gift of stillness. When you embrace stillness before activity, you are making a powerful statement to yourself. You are not at the mercy of the world's demands. You are choosing to lead your day rather than be led by it. You are declaring that peace is not something you stumble upon by chance. It is something you create deliberately. And in that choice, you not only transform your mornings, but you also begin to transform your life. When we think about mornings, most people imagine a slow crawl out of bed, a cup of coffee to shock the body awake, and then a rushed attempt to get moving. But there is a difference between waking up and truly awakening. Waking up means your eyes are open and your body is technically out of bed. Awakening means your mind, body, and energy are aligned and prepared for the day ahead. One of the most powerful ways to achieve that alignment is to move your body with intention the moment you start your day. Movement in the morning is not about chasing fitness goals, building muscle, or training for a marathon. Those may be valuable pursuits, but this habit goes deeper. Morning movement is about signaling to your body and brain that the day has begun and that you are ready for it. It is about shaking off the heaviness of sleep and replacing it with vitality. The body and the mind are not separate forces. They influence each other constantly. When your body feels sluggish, your thoughts follow. When your body feels alive, your thinking sharpens. That is why moving with intention before the world wakes up can dramatically change the trajectory of your day. Consider what happens physiologically when you begin your morning with physical movement. Your heart rate rises, your blood begins to circulate more vigorously, and oxygen flows more freely to your brain. This creates an almost immediate sense of alertness. The fog of sleep lifts and clarity starts to form. Even just a few minutes of stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk can trigger the release of endorphins, the body's natural mood enhancers. Those endorphins don't just make you feel good, they prime you with optimism, which is one of the most powerful mindsets to carry into a new day. Many people underestimate the power of small movements in the morning because they believe exercise must be intense to matter. But moving your body with intention isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. A few minutes of mindful stretching, focusing on each muscle as it lengthens and awakens, can be enough to release tension that has built overnight. A short series of push-ups or squats can send a surge of energy through the body that caffeine alone could never replicate. Even walking outside and allowing your body to absorb the natural light resets your circadian rhythm, telling your brain it is time to be awake, alert, and alive. Another important aspect of intentional movement in the morning is the psychological message it sends. When you choose to move your body before the demands of the day pull you in every direction, you are telling yourself that your health and your energy matter. That simple decision reinforces a mindset of ownership. Instead of waiting for the day to dictate your state, you take control of it. And that choice ripples forward, influencing the way you handle tasks, conversations, and challenges. You carry yourself differently when you start the day energized rather than depleted. There is also something deeply grounding about connecting with your body before anything else. Throughout the day, we often live in our heads, thinking about deadlines, conversations, and responsibilities. Movement brings you back into your body. It reminds you that you are not just a mind navigating tasks. You are a physical being with strength, agility, and presence. That awareness brings balance. It makes you more resilient because when stress rises later in the day, your body remembers the calm strength it felt in the morning. What makes morning movement transformative is not just the act itself, but the intention behind it. It's not about rushing through a workout so you can cross it off your list. It's about being fully present in the movement, feeling the stretch in your muscles, noticing your heartbeat quicken, becoming aware of your breath as it deepens. This level of mindfulness turns simple movement into a ritual of awakening. It's not exercise for the sake of exercise. It's a conversation with your body that says, I am ready, I am strong, I am here. When you move your body with intention at the start of the day, you are also building a foundation of discipline. It's easy to hit snooze, it's easy to postpone physical activity, and it's easy to say you'll do it later. But beginning your morning with deliberate movement is a choice to prioritize what is essential over what is easy. That discipline becomes a thread you can pull on throughout the day. If you can honor your body in the morning, you can honor your commitments, your goals, and your values later in the day. Perhaps the most beautiful thing about this habit is its accessibility. It doesn't matter how old you are, how fit you are, or what resources you have. Movement doesn't require a gym membership, fancy equipment, or long hours of training. All it requires is your willingness to show up for yourself. You could stretch in your living room, walk barefoot in your backyard, or simply practice deep breathing with gentle movement. The form doesn't matter. The consistency and the intention do. Movement in the morning is an act of self-respect. It is the choice to prepare your body and mind to meet the day with energy, resilience, and focus. When you make that choice consistently, the benefits accumulate, not just in your mornings, but in your entire life. Because a body that moves with intention in the morning creates a mind that lives with intention throughout the day. The first moments of your day are the most vulnerable. Your mind has just emerged from sleep, still soft, still open, still impressionable. It is during this time that what you choose to expose yourself to will act like the first drop of ink in clear water. It spreads, it colors, it sets the tone. Too often, we hand over those moments to the world without hesitation. We pick up our phones, scroll through endless feeds, read headlines designed to provoke fear or anger, or check messages that pull us into other people's agendas. By doing this, we are essentially allowing the world to feed our minds before we've even had a chance to choose what we want to nourish it with. And the truth is, whatever feeds you in those early hours will fuel the direction of your thoughts, emotions, and actions for the rest of the day. That is why feeding your mind before the world does is one of the most transformative morning habits you can build. It is not about ignoring reality or avoiding responsibility. It is about claiming ownership of your mental state before anyone else influences it. The same way you wouldn't put junk food into your body first thing in the morning if you cared about your health, you shouldn't put junk information into your mind if you care about your clarity, focus, and growth. When you choose to feed your mind intentionally in the morning, you are deciding to give it fuel that uplifts, strengthens, and prepares you. For some, this may mean reading a few pages of a book that inspires or teaches. For others, it could be listening to a podcast or an audio program that challenges them to think differently or grow in wisdom. For another, it might be journaling, putting thoughts on paper to clear the mental clutter and make space for new ideas. The form doesn't matter nearly as much as the quality of the input. What matters is that you begin your day with content that nurtures rather than drains. The impact of this practice is profound because the brain is highly suggestible in the morning. Neuroscience shows that when you first wake up, your brain is in a theta state, a frequency that is deeply impressionable and creative. This is why many of the world's greatest thinkers, creators, and leaders emphasize what they expose themselves to at the start of the day. They understand that the morning is not just a time for action, but for planting seeds, seeds of thought, seeds of perspective, seeds of possibility. If you plant negativity, anxiety, and distraction, those seeds will grow. But if you plant inspiration, clarity, and purpose, those will grow instead. Feeding your mind first thing in the morning is also an act of self-protection. The world is full of noise, opinions, and pressures that are eager to pull your attention in 100 directions. If you step into that noise unprepared, you are far more likely to be swept away by it. But if you enter the day having already anchored your mind in strength, you carry a shield, you become less reactive, less scattered, and more intentional. Instead of being shaped by external forces, you shape your day from within. There is also a cumulative effect to this practice. Imagine reading 10 pages of a thoughtful book every morning. That may not seem like much in a single day, but in a month you will have consumed 300 pages. In a year, you will have read 12 entire books. Now imagine the compounded wisdom, ideas, and perspectives you will have gained, all because you chose to feed your mind with intention instead of noise. Or imagine journaling for just 5 minutes each morning, capturing your thoughts, clarifying your intentions, and reflecting on your emotions. Over time, you will begin to notice patterns, growth, and a deeper understanding of yourself. These small inputs add up to massive change because consistency transforms ordinary practices into extraordinary results. Another overlooked benefit of feeding your mind before the world does is the sense of ownership it creates. Starting your day by choosing what you put into your mind builds confidence. It reminds you that you are not at the mercy of algorithms, trends, or other people's expectations. You are in charge. That sense of ownership bleeds into other areas of life. When you start your day with intention, you are far more likely to carry that intention into your work, your relationships, and your personal goals. You begin to lead your day instead of following it. It's important to note that this practice doesn't require long hours. Even 5 minutes of reading something uplifting, 5 minutes of writing, or 5 minutes of listening to a thoughtful piece of audio can completely alter your mindset for the day. What matters is not the length of time, but the direction of focus. Are you beginning your day by filling your mind with wisdom, gratitude and possibility, or are you handing it over to distractions and noise? That choice makes all the difference. When you decide to feed your mind before the world does, you are making a powerful declaration. You are declaring that your inner state is more important than external chaos. You are declaring that growth matters more than gossip, that wisdom matters more than noise, and that your vision for your life matters more than the distractions that try to steal your attention. It is a simple habit, but it carries the power to reshape not just your mornings, but your entire life. Every day we wake up, our minds immediately begin scanning for what is missing, what is wrong, or what must be done. It's a survival instinct rooted in the way our brains have evolved. To anticipate problems, to prepare for threats, to focus on what needs fixing. While this may have kept our ancestors alive, in the modern world it often leaves us starting our days with stress, worry, and dissatisfaction. Gratitude interrupts this cycle. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is present, from what is broken to what is whole, from what is absent to what is already here. Beginning the day with gratitude is not just a feel-good ritual. It is a deliberate reprogramming of the mind that alters the lens through which we see everything that follows. When you wake up and intentionally recognize what you are grateful for, you are training your brain to seek abundance instead of scarcity. That shift has immediate effects on your emotional state. Think about the difference between starting your morning worrying about bills, deadlines, or problems versus starting it by acknowledging the roof over your head, the breath in your lungs, or the opportunity to begin again. The circumstances may not have changed, but your perspective has, and perspective is what determines how you experience the world. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it equips you to face them with resilience. The beauty of gratitude lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require wealth, status, or perfect conditions. It can be practiced anywhere by anyone at any time. In the morning, it can be as simple as writing down 3 things you are thankful for or silently acknowledging them while you stretch or sip your tea. Some mornings, your gratitude might be for big things, a loving family, meaningful work, or an opportunity that excites you. Other mornings, it might be for small things, the warmth of sunlight, the comfort of your bed, or the quiet stillness before the day begins. Gratitude is not about the size of the blessing, but the recognition of it. The more you practice noticing, the more you realize how much there already is to appreciate. There is a growing body of research showing the profound effects of gratitude on the brain and body. Neuroscience has found that when we practice gratitude, the brain releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that elevate mood and create a sense of well-being. Over time, gratitude strengthens neural pathways that make positivity more automatic. It rewires the brain to look for the good instead of fixating on the bad. In other words, the more you practice gratitude, the easier it becomes to feel it. Psychologists have also found that people who consistently practice gratitude report lower levels of stress, improved sleep, stronger relationships, and even greater physical health. It is not an exaggeration to say that gratitude has the power to transform both the mind and the body. What makes morning gratitude especially powerful is the timing. The first few minutes of the day are like a doorway into how the rest of the day will unfold. If you step through that doorway with worry, negativity, or frustration, you carry that energy into your work, your conversations, and your choices. But if you step through with gratitude, you set a tone of calm, positivity, and abundance. It is like tuning your instrument before a performance. You align yourself with the right frequency before you begin playing the music of your day. Gratitude in the morning also serves as a grounding practice. Life can easily overwhelm us with distractions and demands, but gratitude pulls us back to what matters most. When you pause to notice what you already have, you remind yourself that you are not starting the day empty. You are starting full. You are not lacking. You are already blessed. This perspective doesn't just create inner peace. It fuels greater generosity and kindness. People who begin with gratitude are more likely to be patient with others, more willing to give, and more capable of leading with compassion. Gratitude doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you show up in the world. One of the most overlooked truths about gratitude is that it multiplies. The more you notice what you are thankful for, the more reasons you find to be thankful. It is like training your eyes to see beauty in places where you once overlooked it. Over time, this habit changes how you experience not only mornings, but life itself. Instead of chasing happiness in the future, when you achieve this or acquire that, you begin to see happiness in the present. Gratitude reveals that joy is not a destination, but a state of awareness. Starting your day with gratitude is a conscious choice. It is the choice to say, before I let the world tell me what's wrong, I will remind myself of what's right. Before I focus on what I lack, I will honor what I already have. Before I give my energy to stress, I will give it to appreciation. This choice doesn't take hours, it takes seconds. But those seconds can shift the trajectory of your entire day. And when practiced consistently, they can shift the trajectory of your entire life. Every day presents us with countless tasks, responsibilities, and distractions. From the moment we step into the flow of the world, our attention is pulled in dozens of directions. Emails to answer, calls to return, problems to solve, and unexpected interruptions to manage. It is easy to reach the end of the day exhausted yet uncertain of what we actually accomplished. This happens because without clarity, our energy scatters. We do a little bit of everything, but often nothing of deep significance. That is why setting one clear intention at the beginning of the day is such a powerful habit. It is the anchor that steadies you when the current of life tries to pull you away. An intention is not the same as a to-do list. A to-do list is filled with tasks, some urgent, some necessary, some trivial. An intention, however, is about focus and meaning. It answers the question, what will make today matter? When you wake up and identify one clear intention, you give yourself a compass. No matter what happens, you have a direction to guide you. This doesn't mean you ignore other responsibilities, but it ensures that you don't lose sight of what is most important. Imagine starting your morning by asking yourself, if I could only accomplish one thing today, what would make the day feel purposeful? That question cuts through the noise. It helps you prioritize what is meaningful over what is merely demanding. Perhaps your intention is to complete a project that has been weighing on you, to have a deep and undistracted conversation with a loved one, to take a step toward a personal goal, or to carry yourself with patience in a difficult environment. Whatever it is, that single intention shapes your mindset for the entire day. The power of setting one intention is that it transforms your energy from scattered to concentrated. Just as sunlight becomes far more powerful when focused into a beam, your efforts become more impactful when they are directed toward a clear aim. This doesn't mean you neglect other tasks, but it ensures that your energy isn't diluted across things that don't ultimately matter. By the end of the day, you may not have completed everything, but you will have completed something meaningful, and that creates a sense of progress and fulfillment. There is also a psychological advantage to beginning the day with intention. When you know what you are aiming for, you are less reactive to distractions. Without intention, every email, message, or request feels urgent and takes control of your attention. With intention, you filter those distractions through a larger purpose. You ask, does this serve the direction I have chosen for today? That single filter allows you to act with greater discipline and clarity. Another powerful aspect of intention setting is how it impacts your sense of identity. Each intention you choose is a statement about the kind of person you want to be. If your intention is to approach challenges with patience, you are aligning yourself with the identity of someone calm and resilient. If your intention is to show kindness, you are stepping into the identity of someone compassionate and generous. Over time, these daily intentions shape not just your days, but your character. You become the person you consistently choose to be. It is important to remember that an intention does not have to be grand or overwhelming. In fact, the simpler it is, the more powerful it often becomes. One intention each day creates clarity. Too many intentions create confusion. The habit works because it is singular. When you focus on just one, you give yourself the best chance of success. And success in that one area builds confidence that spills over into everything else. Consistency is where the real transformation happens. The first time you set an intention, it may feel small. But imagine what happens when you do it every day for a month, a year, or longer. You will have lived hundreds of days with clarity and purpose rather than drifting aimlessly. Each day will contribute to something larger, and over time you will find yourself living not just reactively, but deliberately. Setting one clear intention in the morning is also an act of respect for time. Time is finite. You cannot do everything, but you can do something that matters. By choosing your intention, you are deciding what deserves your energy most. And in a world where so many people let life decide for them, that decision is an act of leadership. You are leading your day instead of being led by it. The truth is, life will always be unpredictable. Unexpected events will always appear. But when you begin with intention, you create a steady line through the chaos. No matter how the day unfolds, you can return to that one purpose and remind yourself what truly matters. That clarity doesn't just change how you work, it changes how you live. Every morning is a new beginning, a chance to decide who you will be before the world places its demands on you. The hours before the world wakes up are not just quiet, they are sacred. They hold within them the power to shape your mindset, your choices, and ultimately your life. By embracing stillness, you give yourself clarity. By moving your body with intention, you awaken energy. By feeding your mind before the world does, you take control of your perspective. By starting with gratitude, you ground yourself in abundance. And by setting one clear intention, you ensure that your day carries meaning rather than mere motion. These habits may seem small, but small choices practiced daily compound into profound transformation. They are not luxuries, they are necessities if you want to live a life of focus, resilience, and purpose. The world will always be noisy, busy, and distracting. But before the world wakes up, you have a window of opportunity. What you choose to do with it will determine not just how you start your day, but how you live your life. So the challenge is simple. Tomorrow morning, before the world wakes up, choose one of these habits. Begin with just one. Let it guide you, let it strengthen you, and let it remind you that the way you start your day is the way you start your life. And when you repeat it day after day, you will discover that you are not just surviving the world, you are shaping it.